great to meet you.
1, 2, ram!
I interviewed Jean-Claude Van Damme this week, who said a couple of things. When he was with you in the film Double Team, you're one of the nicest guys he's met.
Really?
Really. And secondly, he says that he may love his dogs more than you love your dogs. He says when his dogs are ill, he flies them business class. How about you?
My dogs fly first class.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
They actually get on the plane with you?
No, because you have the quarantine here, so she's got to go to Paris, and then she gets on the train and the boat here. So it takes her 26 hours to get here.
And what do you do in the meantime? I mean, you're as known for your acting these days as you are for your love of dogs.
Well, Loki's 17 now, so I have a gentleman that helps me out with her, and he's the one that does the trip with her. Really good. You really brought it.
Thank you, thank you.
You hang in there. You got a lot of ability.
Have you ever seen a one-trick pony and feel so happy and free?
Well, I was wondering if I could get some more work.
All I got is weekends. Isn't that when you sit on other dudes' faces?
There's talk about you winning an Oscar this time. Actually, you're the anti-hero of Hollywood, and that's how you're seen. What would you say if you got an Oscar? What would the speech consist of?
You know, I never, ever thought about that.
There must be something in your mind. You must think, this might be the one. I mean, would that give you credibility that you want, or you think,
I think
you know
what gave me credibility is my performance in the movie. I mean, for me, I know what I did, and I'm very satisfied and confident, and I feel good in my heart with what I did, you know, and what Darren got out of me and what I gave to him, what he gave to me. I couldn't have done the performance that I did without him. I think with another director, this would have been a different movie.
But how did you even respect him? He's a youngish guy, you know, that you've got a reputation, or
Yeah.
you used to.
Yeah.
How do you not bully him? I mean, you know, the guy that's, you could say,
You really can't, because Darren, first of all, he's smarter than the rest of us.
Right.
So whatever bullshit I was going to come up with, he already knew I was going to say.
How did he hem you in, though? Did he just, is it a
Well,
respect thing?
out of
or-
respect and trust. You know, he said it right up front. You ruin your career, and you haven't worked for way over a decade, and you know, you've done little parts here and there for the last 10 years, and you haven't carried a movie in over 15 years, and he says, can you work every day?
Does that affect your self-worth, though, not having worked in 15 years, or do you think...
Sure. I lived in a state of shame and disgrace, and regretted, you know, the fact that I wasn't accountable, and that I was, I didn't care about consequences or repercussions, you know, and that was just some old macho shit that was in me.
Is it out, or...?
Yeah. I mean, there's little pieces that are always going to be there, but I don't have to. I realize now that I've got to be accountable for my actions.
Have you ever seen a one-legged dog?
You have a beer with me? One beer.
If you've ever seen
You have a daughter?
Oh, my daughter, she don't like me very much.
You should call her.
What's stopping you going off the rails again? You know, this film's going to be massive, you're going to be massive. What's to stop you, you know, headlining a film and
Well,
then
I
going
think
crazy?
I had to go to therapy, and I had to go into some. I had to be real honest with myself about why that happened to me, why I had gotten so hard physically and mentally, and why if I walked down the street and somebody looked at me a certain way, it was on, you know, and what was all that about? And when I got to the root of it, I realized that the hardness was really covering up issues of abandonment and shame that I had when I was little, and a sense of feeling insignificant and small, and I let that affect you. You know, the jails are filled up with dudes because of those reasons.
And you seen me.
What do you want from me?
I'm an old, broken-down piece of meat, and I deserve to be all alone. I just don't want you to hate me.
You mentioned small. I mean, you're so big in this film. Did you take steroids to get that big? How does one get that swollen in such a short time? You look fantastic.
I had 7.5 months to lift a lot of heavy weights and to eat a lot of the right foods, and I had a really great. I had this trainer who was from the Israeli army.
Right.
And he was...
Was it okay when he looked you in the eye? You know?
Oh, he could kick my ass. He could kick my ass, and he would actually come to my room if I didn't come downstairs, and he would...
Kick your ass?
He would get the key and open the door, and I would try to curl up under the sheets like he wouldn't see me.
Mickey Rourke, wimp.
Yes. Well, with this guy, yeah, this guy was tough. Daniel Drucker, tough as nails, and the fact that if there was a couple of days where, like, say, I was out at night late and I didn't show up in proper shape for work, and he'd go to the gym and he'd say, sit down. I'd sit down, and he'd say, we had a picture of a wrestler from the '80s who just looked like, a machine. He says, do you want to look like that, or do you want to look like that? He says, because we're running out of time. We got 7.5 months to look a certain way. And I go, well, I want to look like that. He goes, well, then you're working out today.
This life, you can lose everything you love, everything that loves you. A lot of people told me that I'd never wrestle again. The only one who's going to tell me when I'm through doing my thing is you people here.
I've got to say, you're looking great. Women, how many women do you reckon you slept with? I mean, people like Steve Guttenberg say 600. I mean, a guy like you, with the dapper outfit, the dog.
No,
how many women?
No, I don't really count them. I don't, I'm very particular.
They still throw themselves at you, though, right?
Not that much. I'm getting older. I'm one of the old guys now. It's harder.
Mr. Rourke, pleasure.
Okay.
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you
bet.
very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
You bet.
What do you think? What do you think about this?
Yeah, that'll work.
Come here.